Hello and welcome to TotoTCG. You are here with me, Matthew, and we are back here with another Pokemon news update. So we have yet another new GX to discuss. As you can see by the background, it's a bit grey. And what's grey representing the Pokemon TCG? Bit of metal. We have a metal Pokemon coming up in this video. So, without further ado, let's introduce this new metal Pokemon. We have this crazy looking thing right here. So it's a very, very interesting looking Pokemon indeed. Its name, Stakataka. What an absolutely amazing name. It looks crazy, it sounds crazy, and it's really, really awesome. It looks absolutely amazing. I just love how it looks like a load of blocks piled up on each other, and that's why it's called Stakataka. Very, very cool indeed. Of course, we all know that it is an Ultra Beast, but it's also a metal type with a HP of 180. It is a basic Pokemon as well, which is always very, very cool. The only Ultra Beast at the moment that's actually had to evolve was Naganadel, which that evolved from Poipole. So, yeah, this is pretty cool. It looks very, very, very unique. Like, there's absolutely nothing like this at all. It's just like a building with 4 block legs. That's literally how you can describe it. With all those, red sort of, neon lights on it, it looks insane. It really does look absolutely amazing. Really, really cool. So, without further ado, let's have a little look at the full art and rainbow rare of this card. So the full art looks a little bit like that. So a bit more simplistic, not wild, but it does show off the Ultra Beast in its entirety, and it looks absolutely amazing. Love that red, because obviously it already had those sort of red laser lights on it, and now it has the outline of red. It looks insane. Really does look absolutely amazing. And the rainbow rare as well is right there. Probably doesn't look as appealing. It does just literally look like a load of blocks just placed somewhere. Obviously, because it doesn't have that greyness to it, you can't see that they are blocks. It just looks as if it's just been dumped on a page. But they both look absolutely amazing, and it looks really, really interesting. Such a unique design. Really is so, so cool. So, it does have an ability, which we're going to check out right now. So, let's have a little look at what the ability is. It is called Ultra Wall. So, any ideas as to what that might be? Well, it does sort of what you might be thinking. Any damage done to your Ultra Beast by an opponent's attacks is reduced by 10 after applying weakness and resistance. So it's pretty cool just to maybe have on the bench, to be honest. Especially with that ability. It probably actually would stack as well, which would be really cool. Any damage done to your Ultra Beast by an opponent's attack is reduced by 10. So if you had 2 of these, it'd be 20. So that'd be pretty cool. Does sort of get that resistance going, which is pretty nice. Definitely very, very cool. It's I think a majority of Ultra Beasts, have they have abilities, and if they don't, they either have 1, 2 attacks, even 3 attacks. Ultra Necrozma's only got 2 attacks. The Naganadel has got 3 attacks, no abilities, but a majority of them, Buzzwole doesn't, Pheromosa doesn't, Zergatry does, Celesteela doesn't, so it's a mixture. That statement was completely wrong. It's a mixture. But it's nice to see that this one has an ability. That's what we're sort of getting at. So let's move on to that second attack, which is called Gigaton Stamp. Gigaton Stamp? Something like that. But, yeah, pretty cool. What does it do? It does 120 damage. So, I mean, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. For 2 metal and a colourless, I mean, that's not bad. That is not bad. Now, you've got things like Choice Band, Beast Energy, which that can go on this to raise up that stat. So if you had a Beast Energy, I think that's another 30. Then you have a Choice Band, that's another 30. So that is then hitting a nice 180, which is pretty cool. That is pretty cool indeed. Pretty nice. That's taken out a Lele 170, so that's really cool. Really cool. It's basically hitting for itself, let's just put it that way. It has the HP of 180, it can hit for itself. But I mean, that's pretty cool, and to get 3 energies on, it's not like super duper hard, especially with a lot of cards that can help with Ultra Beast now, which is always really, really cool. So let's move on to the GX, which is called Assembly GX. So what does Assembly GX do? Well, it does 50 plus damage. This attack does 50 more damage for each prize card you have taken. So of course every Ultra Beast has a prize card orientated GX move, which is always really, really cool because some of them are pretty game changing. Pretty game changing indeed. But it does do 50 plus, so it does 50, and then say you've taken 3 prizes already, then you're doing 200 damage with a choice band, and say you've still got the beast energy on, you're doing 260. That's pretty much knocking out anything. So I mean, that's pretty cool indeed. Very, very nice indeed. And I like how that is actually called Assembly GX, because I believe this thing was actually called Assembly. I think it was like UB Assembly, which is basically it was a term before they actually gave it a name of Ultra Beast Assembly. And then there's also another one, which they're sort of, I think they said they're going to be releasing one Ultra Beast now in every sort of set to try and get them all done. So this is Stakataka from Celestial Storm. The next one, I really cannot remember the name, but it's the Disco Ball one. It's like Blaceophon, something like that. It's really, really weird, but I absolutely love it. It's got like a disco ball head. Hopefully it's maybe either a fire type. I would hope that it's a fire type. We haven't really had any... Well, actually, we haven't had any fire type Ultra Beast. Neither water. So that's definitely something to think of. But yeah, really, really cool. And I like how both the second move and the GX have both got the same amount of energy on them, which is always really, really cool. So let's have a little look at everything else. Of course, we know it is a GX, so if it does get knocked out, you're going to get 2 prize cards taken. The weakness to fire, which, I mean, is sort of okay, but then again, with like Blaziken coming out in this set and looking really promising, this thing could get one-shot by that really easily. There's Ho-Oh as well, which could one-shot that really easily. There's probably a few other things that I can think of that might be able to one-shot that from the fire element anyway. So yeah, really... Yeah, it's not like... It's not the worst, because there's not a lot of fire decks going on at the moment. There's a lot of fire Pokemon and GXs, which could take this out, but not a lot of decks going around at the moment. It has a resistance to Psychic, and a retreat of 3, which I guess, for the amount of energy that is on it, you can just take it off, retreat it, happy days. And especially with Mount Coronet as well, which is the card that I haven't actually mentioned in this. But Mount Coronet as well allows you to get those energies back into your hand, so then you can just put them back out where you want. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool indeed. So, let's have a little look at what works. So, get ready, guys, because I think this is the biggest list of things that we've... Oh, it's crazy. Anyway, let's start with the big old one of Buzzwole GX. Now, I'm placing these out there because of the Ultra Beast ability, and also because there's a deck which revolves very much around Ultra Beasts, and a lot of them sort of like merge together, so this could be pretty interesting. But we got Buzzwole GX. Even if we wanted to try and do a metal deck, you could still play Buzzwole, still have your Beast Energy, still place it on for the Jet Punch, because then you're doing 60 and then 30 to the bench. But if you put a choice band on that as well, you're doing 90 and then 30 to the bench. So it's pretty good. Pretty good. We've also got Guzzlord GX. Again, if you wanted to sort of go with a metal deck, that one's a little bit harder. But if you wanted that to... That's in a different language as well. Wow. If you wanted to, like, you know, have Stakataka on the bench to allow... to have like the minus 10 damage being taken, then of course then you can play Guzzlord, etc. We got Celesteela GX, which of course is a metal Ultra Beast, so you could play that with this. It's not the best Ultra Beast because it's a very costly Ultra Beast, but a very interesting one nevertheless. We've got Ultra Necrozma GX, which of course does run metal, so this could be pretty cool as well. It's a metal psychic type thing, so that could be pretty cool to have and get going. We got Naganadel GX. I'm placing that in here because of that Beast Raid. This attack does 20 damage for each of your Ultra Beasts in play. So if you have that and 5 on the bench, that's 6. I'm guessing that's what it meant. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. You're doing some pretty decent damage there, especially if you have a Beast Energy on that or a Choice Band. You're doing pretty well with that Beast Raid, so that's why Beast Box is normally played with that. We've got Zergatry GX as well. That's got the ability of preventing special energies if that's up at the front, but you could always still play that. The Lightning GX is pretty cool. Dorming's Necrozma sees a lot of play with that evasion ability, so that could still be played. It is an Ultra Beast as well. We got Pheromosa GX, again another Ultra Beast there. Very interesting one. We got Dorming's Necrozma, Duskmane Necrozma GX. Again, this is another metal type, so this could work very nicely. And this does see a lot of play. Plus, it does have a lot of supporter cards, such as Magnezone with the metal helping out. You've got the Solgaleo Prism, that helps out. So a lot of things are definitely helping out the metal types at the moment, which is really, really cool. We've got Metal Frying Pan as well, which of course that helps with metal Pokemon taking 30 less damage. Plus the fact that you've got the ability, that's 40 less damage from an attack. That's not bad. That's definitely pretty cool. Got Ultra the Sun as well. This could be pretty cool, especially with the metal Pokemon. Have no weakness, so they have no weakness to fire. So that could definitely be very, very cool indeed. Beast Ring, of course, I think a lot of people, if they're going to play an Ultra Beast deck, they're going to play Beast Ring. It definitely helps accelerate the energy very, very quickly. And as soon as your opponent has taken 2 prizes, it's like, well, thanks very much, Beast Energy. But the thing is, they could do multiple of these on the same turn. So they could, if they have a Beast Energy already in their hand, they Beast Energy, then maybe they Cynthia, then they find another Beast Energy, they do it again. That's a possibility of 4, maybe even 6 if they can find 3 of them. It sounds insane, but it is an item. That means energy is getting accelerated at a stupid amount because you've taken 2 prize cards, which is normally a GX. Say you've taken a Tapu Lele. So that could be really, really cool, especially accelerating with the metal decks, and this one, for example. Ultra Space as well, of course, that does help get out Ultra Beast cards. So maybe if you're not going to play Mount Coronet, maybe that one's a pretty good one, just to so you've got that sort of continuous Ultra Beast thing, especially if you're going to run something like Rescue Stretcher as well, to get those back out. If they do go down, you can get it back out with Ultra Space, which would be pretty cool indeed. And the last one is, of course, like I've mentioned throughout, Beast Energy, which is a Prism card, unfortunately, but for a one-off card, especially when you attach it to an Ultra Beast and it does 30 extra damage, that is pretty cool. It's basically a Rainbow Energy. You don't take any damage, and you do 30 more. So, I mean, that is really, really cool. Definitely really, really cool. A lot of people try and play Beast Energy with a Buzzwole. A lot of people try and play that with a Naganadel. I can't really see it with anything else because it doesn't really work. And if it does get knocked out, then the Beast Energy goes into the Lost Zone, so it's gone, which is kind of annoying, but hey-ho. But yeah, that is what I can think of at the moment. There are obviously some metal Pokemon, and there are some metal Pokemon coming out in this set. There's GXs as well, like Metagross GX, which I can think of. There's a Metagross coming out in the Celestial Storm, which looks pretty cool. So you could definitely tie it in with some other metal Pokemon and just have it on the bench, bearing in mind that that ability only affects the Ultra Beast, which is the only reason I've been basically spamming Ultra Beasts on this what works. Because it could work, especially if you maybe have 2 of them on the bench, and maybe you're doing a Duskmane Necrozma GX deck. Bang, sorted. Beast Ring helps, Metal Frying Pan helps, Beast Energy helps, Ultra Space helps, Ultra the Sun could help in certain situations. Maybe just run 1 just in case maybe they are running Fire. Not a lot of people run Fire, so maybe not think of doing that just yet until you know that there's a Fire deck out there that could be doing some pretty decent damage. But yeah, there we go. That is what works. So definitely a lot to chew over and think of, but it could definitely work very nicely with any of these. So, let's have a little look at Guess the GX. The answer from our previous news update, we had this little picture right there. What was that in particular? Well, it was, of course, Tapu Fini GX. Very nice indeed. So you can see where I've cut that out just by the arm, sort of raising up where that wave is. pretty awesome indeed. Didn't want to give away too much, and yeah, Tapu Fini making some waves. So let's have a little look at the Guess the GX for this one. So we have this picture, and this picture. Now bearing in mind this is a GX, it is not Shroomish. I honestly thought this was Shroomish once I cropped it. It's not Shroomish. It is a GX. Let me know what you think that GX is right there. Also, let me know in the comments below your thoughts on Stakataka. What an absolutely amazing name. I just cannot wait to be like, aha, Stakataka GX. It's going to be really, really cool. Who knows? Could pull it in the pre-release. Never know. You never know what you might get in the pre-release. You might not get any GXs at all. And you might get a holo that you can't even play, which is really annoying. But it's all a bunch of fun. But yeah, this is definitely very, very cool. This is the 3rd out of the 5th GX from the Charisma of the Cracked Sky or Wrecked Sky, one of the two. So we've got another 2 GXs to check out, and then we can check out the trainers, and then we'll move on to some cards which I think could really change the format in my personal opinion. But apart from that, I'm going to leave it here, and I will see you guys in the next video on the channel.